What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Quiet Card Daily, your daily briefing on the hobby, sports, and basically everything I want to talk about. This is a Tuesday show, July 14th. So, shout out to everybody who's showing love, especially listening to the podcast last week. It's a pretty huge podcast for us. We got another one coming up this week with a special guest. Remember, every Wednesday, Quiet Call Podcast comes out every Wednesday, 6 o'clock Central Time, AM. So right before y'all go to work and everything, pop that in the car and head on. But definitely appreciate everybody showing love. How was your weekend? I know I missed yesterday. Still was flying back from what I go to New Jersey. I was in New Jersey, Collecticon. So I was definitely doing that. Man, New Jersey was rocking. New York, it was rocking. Jay Z was up there the whole weekend, killed that. You got SBs on Wednesdays, I think on Wednesday in New York this week, and also the big Fanatic Fest. And it's so crazy. So Fanatic Fest starts on Thursday this year instead of Friday. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Also, the FIFA World Cup Finals is Sunday. So they're doing like a huge like watch party up there. So that's gonna be lit also. And I checked out. I was definitely curious to go because good thing about like Fanatic Fest, they have a lot of guests that's going to be there. A lot of podcasters, a lot of news anchors, a lot of social media people up there. Um, and I was very curious to see basically who was going to be up there. And I went on the website, and that list is long. That list is long. And the good thing about, I think a lot of shows, what I saw kind of this weekend, was having all the guests interact with like just walking in the crowds and stuff. It's no more like, okay, we sign cards and then or just sign Mule and Billy or whatever and just go behind the black curtain and you don't really see us. But I think that walking around and being up close, with some people that you saw on social media or any kind of like, athletes or anything, just kind of being like right there in front of you. That's pretty cool. There's one thing about Fanatic Fest. The Javits Center, and I'll tell you this, and I probably might talk about Fanatic Fest maybe on Wednesday or something, or I don't know, we'll figure it out. But the Javits Center is very nice. If you haven't been to the Javits Center, it's always for me, it's always been like a nice venue. And it's very open space and everything. But like I said, the thing for me is I'm very curious to see, like, and I know people that's been up there all 3 years, 3 years, 3 4 years, 3 years. So, and they've been they sells cards and stuff, and they have definitely loved being up there to Fanatic Fest. So shout out to everybody that's going up there to Fanatic Fest and sell out. You know what I'm saying? Sell out. But today we are talking about football. We're talking about the real football over here. Also, shout out to the last thing. Everybody interacting with the whole is Messi the greatest World Cup soccer player of all time? I like to be right every now and then, but shout out to all the interaction and stuff. Let me know, giving out names and stuff and all that. So, and it's a pretty big year, so I guess we'll really see, especially coming up this week on that. But Topps did drop their cover athlete for the Topps 2026. I guess it's Topps football. Yeah, I just regular Topps football, not Chrome. Okay, and of course it's going to be Mendoza. So shout out to Mendoza on there, no one pick, heading with the Raiders and everything. Uh, I got my thing on Mendoza. He definitely has a good arm on there. I'm very curious to see if he got some kind of leadership personality in him, and I think he does. But that's probably the only thing. But I don't think he's like immature or anything about that. But that's another story. But check out Saturday Aftermath for all my Indiana takes, especially this year. But so in 2026, dropping 2026 Tops, football this year. I think it's like August 21st, which is I absolutely love that. That's number one, right? I love that we're finally getting a football product before the season, right? I think that was crucial. I think, I mean, of course, we all know what happened with Panini and why they couldn't do it no more, but to catch it back up before football season and to have like have packs and everything ready like day one of when football season. That football season starts in September. You know, I think it's like second weekend in September because college football starts at first that Labor Day weekend. So shout out to all the Alabama out there, roll tide all day. But the thing that I'm very curious is that this is not a Chrome product. Okay, are we still excited about it being a paper product? As in, like, that's what they say if it's non Chrome, which is a paper product. Are we still excited over that? Do we still get the hype around now? Last year they did not. They just went straight to Chrome because it's no point doing two sets. You're just wasting your money then. But just like baseball, they are. I know, and I'm very curious. They're gonna do like updates or anything. That'd be pretty cool on that. But no Chrome, just paper, right? So my whole thing is like, and everything is, and I believe that it carries the weight. Tops carries the weight on football, especially back in the day and everything. So I'm not saying that this product going to flop or anything like that. I know the hype around it. I know the hype around football. Okay, I know the hype around football. I know the hype around Chrome, Fanatics, all this other stuff. I don't know all that. The question I have is, are we still excited about non-Chrome products? Because when Chrome gets here, it's going to be holy moly, right? And the thing about this is, it's like, what announcement they gonna have? Like people, like what announcement they gonna put behind this product to say, hey, you can get this same way like they did with the Series One baseball when they say, oh yeah, you can get a Mickey Mantle, right? So people's in there just yo, we gotta get this, gotta get this. So, but do they have to do this with this just a regular non Chrome? You think the hype is going to be like there? Was it already enough? They don't have to be like, oh yeah, we got a 101 Tom Brady. He'll take a picture with you if you find it, or how they be pimping out Tom Brady. Does it pimp it out? All right. And so, and I understand how like iconic this is. I understand you know, but see, here's my thing on it. It's the only reason that I rip more paper product than Chrome. It's just simple fact that it's cheaper. It's way cheaper. It's way cheaper, and I can get it basically at a good value. I can rip Hobby. Y'all know how much. I mean, Hobby should be. If it's anything, even aftermarket, if it can get around, man, we're talking about less than 300. That's another thing. Price on Hobby. Do you think it's going to be under or over 300? But even with everything going on, especially with the Topps brand and everything, you know, my whole thing is that I believe like this is more for the collectors. Now, here's another thing: will they take the plastic off? Will they take the plastic off of this one? I think I'll do basketball. So shout out to Fanatics and everybody that's trying to take the plastic out of stuff. But as you look and see, even with this, it's like when Mendoza is definitely on the cover of this. It's like, okay, are we excited? That's basically the question I'm asking. Kind of everybody is like, okay, not. I know Chrome is going to be like that product, right? Especially this year. Really hyped on this year. I think it's going to be a huge year, especially for because and I'm very curious when Chrome comes out. I think it's even if it comes out like at the end of the year, I think it's gonna be really good. But even I think the date on this also, right before football season, get a product right for opening day, so they're gonna really hype this around, that opening day of football. But just let me know, are we still excited? Because it's not chrome, and are we gonna rip, just all the paper stuff? I know I am, because like I said, it's such a cheap. It's gonna be such a cheap product, and also with it being non-chrome, will it be over $300 for a hobby? Not retail. I'm talking about a retail. Here's nothing. Will it be under 200 retail for being a paper product? Will it be under 200? Let me know in the comments. Okay. And until next time, listen, be safe out there. Okay. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.